In a world where progress never sleeps, one company stands out as the driving force behind infrastructure and energy solutions. Introducing our fuel company and cement producer, where excellence meets efficiency. Jah Oil. The company have 30 filling stations across the country that are all operating, which includes the recently completed Yarambamba and Old Yundum filling stations. And our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Along the years, Jah Oil introduces importation and distribution of cement in their line of business to diversify and strengthen their operations. Are you a cement retailer? At the moment, Jah Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market. With a focus on sustainability and innovation, we are paving the way for a greener, stronger future. Trust in us to fuel your projects and lay the groundwork for success. We currently produce over 25,200,000 bags per year. As the largest cement producer in the country, Jah Oil also targets to export cement to the neighboring countries like Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Conakry, and others. Join us on our journey to shape a world where every drop of fuel and every bag of cement makes a difference. Together, we can build a brighter tomorrow.
Yo, apply. Yo, luta to dede. Luta mo nulo jël moto nga andil ma xaalis. Hello?
Busel mu fine.
What?
Busel mu fine.
Oh, yes!
Wave Axina Gambia. Deposit and withdraw money, pay bills, and buy mobile credit without fees. Transfer money wherever in the country for only 1% fee. At Wave. Busel mu fine? Wave. Your money is yours.
Another historical site is what we're going to be talking about for the remaining 16 to 17 minutes of the program. And I'm joined in that conversation by Mr. Abba T. Haidara. Abba, welcome to West Coast Radio and Coffee Time.
You're welcome, Peter.
And thank you very much for coming.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, okay. You asked for this conversation.
Yes.
Again, give the context.
Yeah, I am very happy. First, before going any further, I want to thank you for allowing me this opportunity to speak my mind as a citizen, as an activist also, to give my opinion on what I have experienced with Fort Bullen as a local stakeholder.
Okay. So Fort Bullen is the historical site that we are talking about now.
Yes. Fort Bullen is a gazetted historical site in 1995 by the then Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, Amina Fall Sonko.
Mm-hmm.
We have not had any degazetting of Fort Bullen. And over the years, we have been following track of former tourism minister, who on the floors of the National Assembly...
Which of them?
Ahmad Nkeba, okay. Honorable Ahmad Nkeba.
My good friend.
Yes.
Ahmad Ngany Kumbaba.
Ngany Kumbaba, you know. I was keeping track of him during his time as tourism minister. Like the day he was ratifying this underwater protection of the underwater cultural heritage with UNESCO, there were a lot of things said. During that session, several NAMs spoke about their opinions about it. But then it was a lengthy speech. But most of the NAMs, I understand, did not know his actual intent, because he was, the minister was talking more of having investors wanting to come and invest on river transport. But then most of the conversations were drawn at reviving the old wharves, like reviving the old wharves, like Lady Chilel. I could remember the NAM for Basse said, talked about the Lady Chilel days. That you used to go to Basse during Thursdays and left during Fridays.
Okay, and how did what Haman Ngany Kumbaba then say affect Fort Bullen?
Yes, because based on that ratification, we were very confident that this minister was trying to preserve our cultural heritage sites, because it was well spoken. And the Underwater Cultural Convention also had safeguards. He said there were several laws here that are not ratified, but then with that of the underwater cultural heritage, there is this law that takes care of it in the National Center for Arts and Culture Act. So he said, fortunately for that law, it could be ratified because there are other legal safeguards in country. Again, according to the Physical Planning and Development Control Act, Part 1, Section 23(6).
And I should say ABBA is here armed with designs.
Yes,
and
designs.
Those of you who will watch the program later on YouTube will be able to see actually what he's talking about. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, Peter, I love activism because...
Just hold that to the cameras. Because, you know.
According to the Physical Planning and Development Control Act, Peter,
yes,
it says no development, alteration, or demolition shall be permitted in the areas containing monuments of ancient historical, religious, or other significant relics and other objects of archaeological, architectural, historical, scientific interest which have been designated for protection and preservation by the National Center for Arts and Culture Act. So this is one of the legal safeguards of protecting Fort Bullen.
Okay. And how is what is happening there now contravening this?
Now they are excavating. And funnily enough, Peter, this allocation was not transparent. It was not in the public domain.
Who is excavating?
Haligai, I understand, because I met with Haligai and discussed with him over this issue. I told him I'm a concerned citizen because I'm organizer of this Nyomi Fort Bullen Festival.
Well, Haligai would be representing a company, I suppose.
Yes, Negma.
Okay.
I went to their office in Banjul. I told him, sir, I understand you are my former boss at the ferries, but I'm here on a different, for a different purpose. I want you to clarify to me whether this Negma activities does not encroach upon the premises of the fort.
Okay, and Negma, we should say, is a Turkish company
is
going to be involved in river transportation.
Through Haligai's facilitation and through his knowledge and influence of the Honorable Minister of Lands now, who was former tourism minister.
We're not sure about that.
Yeah.
All we know is a permit has been given for Negma to come and be involved in river transportation, which is something that people have asked for.
Peter, sadly, this permit is not even seen by us, the locals, and that is against consultative governance. We don't know what is in the region's lands register, where all such public transactions are documented, and there is this Land Use Act that prevents encroaching within heritage sites. Also, you have several other acts, the Biodiversity and Wildlife Act, and several other acts talks about preserving and protect, even graveyards.
So when you say encroaching, on historical sites, how is the activity of Negma an encroachment on the Fort Bullen area?
Because according to the gazetting in 1995, it states the whole of Fort Bullen and its immediate land area at Barra Point, measuring 62964.546 square meters, as indicated in the following diagram. Is this diagram you see? This is the language of the Gazette. And Peter, what is funny about this is that the Select Committee, the National Assembly Select Committee on Culture and Tourism, they came and found nobody on the ground. And we have what we call objects of universal value. In any case that you are going to do excavation, especially around historical sites, there should be somebody responsible enough to sit there and watch what objects are being excavated. These are objects that they put in museums.
And this responsible somebody should have come from the
NCAC.
NCAC.
The NCAC.
Not the parliamentary oversight body.
Maybe they can do that, but by law, the Director of Museums and Monuments is responsible for that, because it is within his... So, Hassoum Cissé, he may be listening, should have assigned somebody at the NCAC, not the security guard currently there, dealing even with the excavated sands and rocks. Trading with what is excavated.
This watchman?
Now. In fact, I'm made to understand that he has even allowed for others to be one of the VDC guys to be coordinating the selling of these things, just to implicate them then as if the community has accepted that. And in nowhere...
Well, but if they are getting involved, they are implicated. If members of, the community are falling for it, then eventually they will be implicated.
That's a misrepresentation of the community.
Do you have a VDC?
We have a VDC, though not legally constituted, because I was supposed to be part of that VDC, but I was asked not to join the VDC.
You seem to have so many problems.
So many problems. That's why I resort to my drawing, because I draw with passion. Whatever is in my mind is what I draw. Peter, I love illustrations and cartoons. I even if you could remember, I co-founded this, co-published Deep Point Fund magazine with the late Deda Haidara. So it has been my passion. I speak through art, through, illustrations. Okay. So coming on the point here, again, I will ask the local government ministry, why haven't they responded to my letter? I wrote a letter, a petition to them that I am deprived from being part of the VDC. Why? I want to know why. Because I'm head of an organization as important as the Nyomi Fort Blend Festival organization. I'm also a coordinator of an organization called Heritage Management Organization. I brought them to Bara, and this organization trains people on heritage management.
Jah Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jah Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
Axel James Wave.
Yo, apply. Yo, luta do de. Luta mo nulo jël moto nga andil ma xaalis. Hello? Ano lay waxal?
Busel mu fine.
What?
Busel mu fine.
Oh, yes!
Wave Axina Gambia. Deposit and withdraw money, pay bills and buy mobile credit without fees. Transfer money wherever in the country for only 1% fee. Ak Wave. Busel mu fine? Wave. Your money is yours.
Is there an ex officio place for your position as organizer, on the VDC? Because
yes, according to the local government
that's the only time you can claim that you've been left out.
Yeah, according to the Local Government Act, constituting a VDC requires 2 people from community-based organizations. All these are concepts around the fact that they want
every CBO has to be represented on
yes,
the VDC.
One male, one female, and every car below, one male, one female. This is to encourage participatory governance. And also technical advisors at regional level are also part of the VDC advisors.
So if you personally are not member of the VDC, do they have any representation from your organization?
No.
From your CBO?
No, they don't have any representation. So other members are not part of the VDC, are already there. But Peter, this is just to give you a hint of a long chain, a long plan thing against me to silence me, because they know I am the most critical guy among the lot. I cannot easily be silent. Because I know of this cooking since 2021 that some people want to invest in river transport. In fact, the Honorable Ahmad Bad said that on the floors of the National Assembly. But then where? Development should have calculated risks. You cannot destroy a development, a heritage site of close to 200 years. Fort Blend will be 200 years next year. By now, we should have been planning, the ministry should have been planning or coordinating with us to celebrate it next year as a bicentenary. You know what the minister did? He invited all other festival organizations and not invite me as head of the Nyomi Fort Blend, the lousy Nyomi Fort Blend Festival coordinator. He deprived us from state funds, not giving us any state money.
When you say lousy, is that how he describes you? Or
No, maybe. That's why I said maybe. Because the reason why they have left me out of the loop of not inviting our organization to ask seed money, to be offered seed money as they have done to other festival organizations in the Gambia, well, it was even on the newspapers. That is sad and very petty. Peter, that is very sad. I am not a bad citizen. I'm a good citizen. I'm a social worker.
How do people generally in Nyomi see you? Do they see you as a troublemaker?
Yeah, they see me as somebody who speaks his mind. Because I was a district youth chairperson. If I had no confidence of the people, they wouldn't have voted me. Yes, consecutively, I have been a district youth chairperson. I was the VDC secretary of Bara. I know the happenings around Bara. Most of these happenings I have recorded, even with Haligay prior to this negmatic. I have kept everything in record because I was not those members of VDC who would just accept by word of mouth. In anything I will tell you, let us document it for the future. We have to have this attitude of, keeping things documented for reference.
Okay. But if you're waging a war that many people believe in, you would have been joined, in this campaign now by others, but you seem to be
a controversial figure.
You seem to be fighting, a lone war. So people may not actually generally, buy your idea of standing up for this, standing up for that, because they would say, well, listen, Abba is just out to make trouble.
Yeah, but legally, If I am going by the legal safeguards, I will be safe after all that, because it doesn't matter how many people support me. What matters is whether I am right. God will come to my side. And what I am fighting for, Peter, is just that it's part of my destiny, but it does not earn me anything. I always fight for my communities, even in the Ajame times. I once wrote to the former president, that I want to see you. He said, a mayor VDC secretary wanting to see me for what? I told him, Bara is being flooded, and I can only resort to you, because council were ignoring us. He said, well, talk to Nyoguba. When I went, at least he did us the gutters you're seeing in Bara. Bara has no proper physical planning. Bara has no good town planning. You don't need a majority to say that. You just need one righteous individual to claim this, because bravery is not something you can just buy from the shops. It has to be part of your DNA to be able to wish to become a sacrifice for others to live a better life.
I'm sure your critics would say you're a disruptive person, that you're not a group player, that you want to dominate. It doesn't matter where you go. You want to be the lone voice. Does that aptly describe you?
Not actually, because a whole festival organizer and secretary for arts and culture of Nyomihan, and one of the founding members of Nyomihan, is a different story. I am one of the founders of Nyomihan, and our objective is to make sure that we unite Nyomi. So a lone fighter cannot do that, and a disregarded person cannot do that.
So who's joining you in this campaign?
The Nyomi Hands, they are coming up.
No, but that's your group, isn't it?
No, Nyomi Hands is the general Nyomi.
Oh, is it?
It's the general Nyomi representation. Every community is represented.
Okay.
At some time back.
So how are they helping, push this agenda?
They are also gathering
to save Fort Bullen.
Yes, they are also gathering their own facts. I started first, but they are also gathering their own facts, because there are brains there, there are sober people there, sober-minded people there, who will want to see a better Nyomi. In fact, our initial plan, local plan for Fort Bullen, is far different from what we are seeing.
Okay. So why should we prioritize Fort Bullen over Negma? I mean, there are many Gambians who would want to see river transportation back, something better than we are getting, from, the ferry service. So why should we say, well, Negma, unfortunately, you can't continue with this because Fort Bullen is too precious? What's the benefit to Gambians?
Peter, Gambians will one day know that even the reason why this Negma is here, some people perhaps have been playing games to give the impression that the ferry people are lazy people, the ferries cannot be run by Gambians. That is a fallacy. That is a myth. That is unfounded.
Yeah, but your services are not very good.
Yeah, but some people are there to undermine it. One is this highly guy.
Well, we can't. We can't be sure about that.
Of course.
And Harley will be given an opportunity, to push back. Let's go on.
Of course.
I mean, we're talking about Fort Bullen.
Yes.
How is keeping Fort Bullen as it is?
It is our heritage, enshrined in Article 27 of the Fundamental Human Rights, that we have the right to our culture. It's our heritage. The children should also have that
Very
right.
quickly, just explain that that design you have.
This design is showing our local plans for the area. This is our plans were to make a conference hall a district museum. Peter, do you know that whatever is taken from Fort Bullen is not given to the community of Bara? It is all taken to the National Center for Arts and Culture. Not even a percentage is given to the community of Bara for the upkeeping of these waste management challenges.
Okay, so you would have.
So we wanted a wrestling arena there, so that whatever revenue we gain from this wrestling arena, we will pay people to be permanent waste collectors for Bara, because area council is not doing it for us. No corporate guy is doing it for us. So we want to have our own opportunity and advantage, and this Fort Bullen therefore would represent the entire Nyomi, not Bara. So going to some people of Bara, talking to them that they have accepted the allocation is wrong. It's not legal even. Because it's a public space. It is not the people of Bara who should determine whether to allocate you or not. This is a public space protected by a gazette with all the dimensions specified.
Okay. So legally, can you go to court?
Yes.
To stop the works that are currently ongoing?
Yes.
Okay.
I have also contacted several ministries, MDAs, ministries, departments, and agencies.
They would side with the ministries. That you are
of course, and that is what I am saying, because not a single reply I have from them. For them, I am ordinary. The Human Rights Commission I have also written to. They are very soon to reply to me.
Okay.
If that is not solving this problem, I resort to the courts or even to the ECOWAS court, because this cannot be left for people. And you know.
Well, ECOWAS is currently in the country talking tourism with a private operator.
Yeah. And you know, Peter, let me quote you this Turkish law.
Very quickly, you have a minute and a half left. Yes, go ahead.
Let me talk. On the Turkish law, number 2863, enacted in 1983 on heritage sites management, it reads, this is the main governing legislation for cultural and natural heritage in Turkey. It classifies all cultural heritage as state property and includes penalties for illegal trafficking, smuggling, excavation. The law also prohibits interference with protected sites, including construction, demolition, and excavation. Then why must we Gambians allow this? In Turkey, this is a violation of the law.
And the reason you are reading the Turkish law is because NEGMA is a Turkish company.
Yes. So why would we compare, that tourism sector that Fort Blaine area can be developed? And I have every right to challenge this, because there was this eco lodge. We were told that even the president would come and inaugurate. We have not seen the president there. And to this day, that eco lodge, of recent I was told that there was a fire outbreak there. There is a pile of tons of cement that has dried up there.
At this eco lodge?
At this eco lodge, they call Sadauda Lodge. It has not benefited the community, and there was a farmland for a garden for our local women. What we want for Fort Blaine is for our local women to also have craft markets there, to have wrestling arena there, traditional sports and games. Peter.
All right, Abba. Thank you very much for coming to the program.
Jah Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jah Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
Excellent jam, Wave.
Yo, apply. Yo, luta do de dik. Luta mënuloo jël moto nga andil ma xaalis. Hello? Xana lay waxal.
Bisul mu fay.
What?
Bisul mu fine.
Oh, yes!
Wave Gambia. Deposit and withdraw money, pay bills and buy mobile credit without fees. Transfer money wherever in the country for only 1% fee. At Wave. Bustle mu fine? Wave. Your money is yours.